Okay, welcome back to Black Clover Anime Review, episode number 90. Yep, I actually hit episode 90. So in 10 weeks, providing the fact the anime does not take a week off, this will be my third anime review series to hit episode 100. Now, you probably would have thought Case Closed might hit this one a little quicker than Black Clover. But no, it didn't. So there's that. This one I'm talking about the newest episode of the anime. The newest episode of the anime is called, this is the 100th episode, the one that has my heart, my mind, and soul, and the 258th chapter of the manga, A Captain's Duty. This is another of the episodes that are part of the anime original stuff. Since this is episode 135, this is exactly the 7th episode of the anime original stuff. It's a mixer episode. Yep, we revisit the mixer stuff. Like, wow, this is the second time we've actually had actually no, this is the third. This is actually oh my gosh. It seems like this arc is just basically revisiting stuff we've already done before. Like we have the one episode where Noelle went to Asta's village and revisiting stuff back in the pilot episode. Last week was a revisit to the Midnight Sun arc. This one kind of had the same thing too. And I would say probably the only episode that had pretty much nothing to do with revisiting stuff is probably the episode featuring the captains, which I'll get to that. Yep, Fenrir, who is back, he actually is back from the capital. He's to break his curse of chasing women. So he brings Asta and Luck along. Now, Luck, believe it or not, actually was on the last one of these ones. Oh yeah, he was. Actually, no, I think it was Magna. Yeah, it was Magna, Asta, and Fenrir, and their dates are Rebecca. Yep, she's back for the first time since the reincarnation arc, where she appeared for I think it was actually no, it wasn't a reincarnation arc. It was actually the previous arc of the series, basically the reconstruction arc in a way, the aftermath of reincarnation, which they actually reference that here, which. Yeah, Rebecca mentions about reading the paper how the Asta was like the devil. Yeah, it's not true. It's all a bunch of lies. They're about to execute him, basically more referencing the previous arc. Yeah, this one pretty much is like a callback to I Midnight Sun and referencing the previous arc, which is fine. The previous arc is something because it just happened, but referencing the first episode of the I Midnight Sun arc is amazing. The fact they reference this thing. Yep. Oh, by the way, this is one of 3 mixers going on in this episode. We all see that Bruja, that's the guy from the Praying Mantis, the guy who Asta beat in one hit in the 3rd episode of the series. Yep. He's hosting his own mixer, and the girls are much more younger than he is. These girls look like they're around 14-ish. Yeah. It only lasts one brief... Oh, yeah, and also Noelle is here spying on Asta. Just like last time. The biggest difference is that Nero's here in a waitress outfit. Oh, yes. This I thought was so cool. The fact that Nero's here serving drinks. Oh, and what's the third mixer? It's held upstairs in this tavern. At this one, we have Gordon, Yami, and Magna. And on the other side, 3 people from the Blue Rose Knights. We have their captain Charlotte in the middle, sitting across from Yami. Across from Magna, it's Soul, who was actually just last seen back in episode 127, along with Charlotte was last seen back in episode 131, and it's only been 4 episodes since her last appearance, so seeing her back is a bit surprising. More surprising to see Soul, but a lot more surprising to see Pure Angel. Yep, the plus-size woman who was last seen back in the reincarnation arc of the series. Like, wow, that's crazy. The fact they actually brought there. Yeah, I was actually surprised they brought this character back. Because, well, nothing's mentioned this character. Oh yeah, they actually do a bit of developing this character. Like, she's the one who gave Charlotte her dress, and this woman is basically Blue Rose's Cupid, in a way. She basically is a matchmaker, and she's also good at having advice for relationships. She's never mentioned having a relationship in the series, but yeah, it's interesting. Brought her back, and we also have a couple people from the Blue Rose Knights helping out Charlotte, and Charlotte's wearing this beautiful dress. I'm sure Colin Clickenberg gets this episode. She's probably gonna have a blast with this one, just like how she did with episode 127. Because I saw on Twitter, she just had so much fun, and and she basically watched it with her son. He couldn't stop laughing at seeing Charlotte scream like crazy, which is a callback to in this episode. Which, wow, it's like 3 callbacks. Wow, that's something. Because it looked like at one point, well, Perry is telling Charlotte she should touch Yami. And apparently when she was about to touch Yami, he ends up jumping out the window and it's right in Fenrir's arms. I thought that was so hilarious. Also, Fenrir is ignoring his date the whole episode. Which I'm like, really, Fenrir? Luck really wants to fight his date for some reason. I have no idea why. As for Asta, him and Rebecca get along great. And it's like their date, per se. It's just basically them catching up and... Well, at least that this time, unlike last time when they had the mixer, yeah, last time Asta saved her from being accosted by a drunk. Yeah, and he had no idea what a mixer is at that point, and apparently he has no problem with this mixer at all. Like, oh yeah, this mixer is training. Okay, fine. Oh, there's a flashback to seeing Vanessa, and she's not even in the episode. It's like the only Black Bulls in the episode is Asta, Noelle, Nero, Yami, Magna, Fenrir, like pretty much almost all of them, except for Zora, Goosh, Gray, and Vanessa. All but 4. Yeah, all but 4 members of the Black Bulls are in this episode. Also, and Noelle was pretty much doing the same thing she did in the last one, like spying on Asta, nearly breaking something. At least this time, the Iron Midnight Sun basically is now to kidnap Rebecca's siblings, and Rebecca's not giving her Asta a peck in the cheek, which, like, they talk about, like, I love the fact they talk about the Heart Kingdom, and he says, yeah, it's a wonderful place. I'll be sure to take you and your siblings there after all this is over, which, good luck with doing that, because, well, it'll be something. Yeah. Of course, it's actually, but here's the thing. If you watch this episode, it's like, okay, I think get through the opening titles. It's kind of like you have this 2-minute recap of the last part of pretty much like the last episode. I would say the last episode of the previous arc. I thought that was kind of weird to do a recap for that, even though that last week's episode featured the return of the nun. Yes, the nun who was the Fagolion's, basically the Vermilion's teacher who taught these two their magic. And it is something though, like last week we had the tutor basically sharing a scene with the 2 siblings. This week it's probably sharing a scene with Charlotte, because these 2, as far as I can tell, have never shared a scene together before, and yet they're part of the same squad, and kudos to the fact the anime could do that. Yeah, 2 weeks in a row we have characters who, despite knowing each other, never share screen time together in the present day, and now we have it. And it looks like next week we're going to do a C story next one. I'm like, that's going to be interesting. Yeah, for allegedly the training for the 6 month, during the 6 months that's happened so far, I mean, what has majorly happened? We had Captain's Meeting basically setting up the stuff we have here in this current arc. Let's see, we have Revisited to the Hot Springs training arc, which basically just has them just go deal with some dungeon they found. This episode, basically last week and this week's episode, are callbacks to At Midnight Sun. This also has a callback to the previous arc, which has a reference to that. And yeah, this episode is actually pretty good. So I think how really weird it's like. I had to skip some parts of the episode because I wasn't really a big fan of the dialogue. That's kind of embarrassing dialogue that's said by Asta. His scenes were fine. I had no problem with his interaction with Rebecca. That was done perfectly fine. My problem with this episode was Fenrir. Yes, the whole thing is focused on Fenrir and him trying to cheat his, like, thing of basically chasing women. Also at this tavern is his brother Lagaris and Fenice, which, from the looks of it, looks like that Lagaris does not want to be in a relationship. He does not want to be engaged to Fenice. He just treats her, I mean, from what I can tell anyways, it's almost like he treats her like a future sister-in-law. It's like this episode was meant to set up something that happens in the current arc with Fenrir having a fiance, being engaged to Fenice, which it's kind of like this episode was setting up that, but doesn't go much many places at all. But this episode was pretty good overall. If you like some of the stuff like this, I do recommend it. But yeah, but the best part of the episode, Asta and Rebecca. Noelle was second, is close second. And what Nero, this is a funny scene when Nero picks up like 6 like beer mugs and carries, and the bartender's like, what? You can, like, wow, you carry 6 at once? Wow. It's like she cares more about working here than Noelle does. Yep. Alright, so now on to news chapter manga. Chapter 256. Actually 258. Captain's Duty. Picks up the last chapter that left off, where Asta and Yami are fighting off against the leader of the Dark Triad. Yep. And they launch their attack on him. Yeah, he basically went like bigger since he got sliced up. He's been sliced up now 3 times now. This chapter makes the 4th time he's been sliced up, at least. It's like every time he gets basically his body slashed up, it's like he keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's like fight, punching Asta, and then Yami and Asta launch an attack on him. And then we have a scene inside Asta's sword where he's talking to his devil. Like I remember you before. Made me angry, and I felt it. Oh, I beat the guy, don't you? I think I should actually have a talk with you. Should talk to you like this sooner. I want things the way. I want to do things that way from now on. So, lend me your power, please. Fine. I'll share the true power of a devil with you. If I can't do his things, I need something. I'll take part of your body. It's a devil's bargain. Are you in? If I turn devil, no matter what I have to do, I need to have some limits on how much these words meant to me. I want to be the kind of person who can come through for Captain Yami. Very well. I'll give it to you. And then Asta goes to his Black Asta mode. Though differently, of course. His arm is basically like been morphed. Yeah, so the part of the body he had to give up, looks like it was his right arm. Yep. Yeah, it's more. This is more like an advanced version of the Black Asta mode. But the question is, what does Noelle think of this? That's the question I have. How does everyone else think of it? This overall was a good chapter, but, well, like with One Piece, we have to wait about 2 weeks before the next chapter comes out. Yep, about 2 weeks. Yeah, apparently the manga chapters of fans do that. The people who read these chapters of fans do it nowadays. Also, on Sunday, when the newest episode Boruto comes out, I'm reviewing news chapters of the manga too. Why not? It's not a bad idea to do. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this particular review. My next review will be review tomorrow for One Piece. And ReZero will be tomorrow. Yep. And that'll be pretty much it for reviews wise for tomorrow. Just One Piece, ReZero, and maybe a Comic Corner if I get a chance to do, okay? See you next video. Bye.